Well, certainly 2023 and 24 has some similarities to the pattern. We're seeing some very widespread unsettled conditions, flooding, hail, gusty winds, everything, you name it, we're getting it across the continent of Europe. 2023, 2024 has a rather similar, not exact, but similar upper air pattern. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Hope everybody is safe and well wherever you are. Be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends and family, and subscribe. The summer of 2024 forecast is well underway here on the channel. I'm continuing to build that forecast and will be released officially at 4 p.m. this upcoming Sunday. So I hope you can join me on the live stream for that special edition of the video. This is the upcoming 7 days according to the CFSV2 rainfall anomaly. Very, very wet pattern across a large swathe of Europe. Even across the UK, we've got a drier north and wetter south scenario. Same across the island of Ireland as well. But I want to specifically look at the GFS first and foremost. This is the precipitation, cloud, temperature, and pressure for 3 o'clock this afternoon. Very, very widespread unsettled conditions. Now, we have seen damage and flooding, hail, damage and winds, and it has been a very, very busy past several days across the continent, with low pressure essentially stuck underneath high pressure over Scandinavia. Now, as we progress through the course of this evening and into tomorrow, we are going to see the continuation of heavy rain, thunderstorms, blustery showers moving out of Belgium and the Netherlands, moving across the North Sea, and then it's going to spread a band of heavy persistent rain around this, slightly strengthening system. I say slightly strengthening because it's not a particularly deep area of low pressure, but nonetheless, it has got a lot of energy associated with it and may produce some problems across many areas of the UK over the next 36 hours or so. We do have a warning in place by the Met Office for various parts of the UK, starting off initially in England and Wales, and then as you move northwards, that warning extends beginning, say, 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, right the way through till the end of Thursday. So this is going to be a relatively long-lived event. The system is fairly slow-moving. As it meanders across the North Sea, it's going to spread a band of heavy, persistent rain, a fairly brisk east to northeasterly wind associated with this as well. But you notice that the central pressure does slowly drop below 1,000 millibars. That's something we haven't seen, especially across the northern half of the UK this May so far. But you notice by the time we reach 1800 tomorrow, you've got some very heavy persistent rain. Now, it's going to be raining a good part of the day, I think, through the Midlands, southern England, central and northern England. And then as we progress through the course of tomorrow, we're going to gradually see that band of heavy rainfall moving into southern and central Scotland. And particularly so the east and far north of Scotland, we could see some fairly significant persistent rain, especially later tomorrow and through a good part of Thursday, hence why the yellow warning is not until 12 o'clock tomorrow, and I think it lasts till about tea time on Thursday evening. You notice by the time we reach the early to middle portion of Thursday, that area of low pressure continuing to bring spells of showers and longer spells of rain. Like I say, fairly brisk winds probably circulating around this area of low pressure. Nothing significant, but nonetheless, it is going to bring gusty winds, especially along the coast, and it just kind of lingers on. This is now all the way out to 18 UTC on Thursday, and we've got still quite unsettled conditions across central and northern areas of the British Isles here. It looks as if it's mainly drier across England, Wales, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. Keeping our eyes in this area of high pressure, what is going to happen is that area of low pressure is going to fill, and it's going to largely be replaced by that area of high pressure. Now we're back into this kind of no man's land in terms of weather. Now we've got low pressure to the west, we've got high pressure kind of a flabby area of high pressure, if that's the right way to describe it. Probably isn't, but you can see here, generally speaking, we've got an area of high pressure in control as we move into the first half of the weekend, but keeping our eyes closely fixed on that front. Look at all the messy conditions continuing over the heart of Europe. If you notice here, But as we move through the course of the weekend, that front looks as if it weakens in place along the west coast of the UK mainland as it comes up against the resistance of higher pressure, not necessarily high pressure, but higher pressure across the UK mainland that is going to essentially try to push that front back. Now let's have a look and see what the total accumulated precipitation seen by the GFS model is looking like. Now you can see very, very wet conditions. First of all, developing parts of Cambridgeshire, the western side of East Anglia, parts of Wales, southwestern England is going to see the rains develop as this feature then kind of moves in between the Netherlands and the UK. We're going to see this rain band initially in the west and northwest flank of the system, less so in the way of rainfall initially across northern England and Scotland here, but it's as we progress through the course of tomorrow, we're going to see those rains moving northwards, and we could see some reasonably significant amounts of rainfall out of this. If we look at the UK specifically, we'll get a better handle in terms of rainfall amounts. Let's look initially at England, Wales, and Ireland in terms of rainfall totals, and you can see initially it starts off with an inch or so across, like I say, the Cambridgeshire area, parts of the Midlands, into a good swathe of Wales here, with exceptions of the west and southwest of Wales, and also this region here, generally between Cardiff and down towards Dorset and Hampshire. We're going to see some fairly heavy rainfall out of this as well. Then, as we progress through the course of tomorrow, there's some of these bullseye of heavy rainfall. Now, the model is indicating that we could see in excess of 75 millimetres of rain across parts of Cumbria and Lancashire, for example, North Wales into the Liverpool, Manchester, down to Stoke, Birmingham, Worcester. These are areas that could see, according to the GFS at least, in excess of a couple of inches of rain through the course of tomorrow. And then as we continue to play through, you can see here that we don't really add too much in terms of rainfall. You notice here that the GFS is indicating a lot less rainfall down around the London area, which is quite interesting here. Let's have a look specifically at Scotland and see what the GFS model is indicating for this region of the UK here. So, like I say, initially not an awful lot. A lot of these rain totals are actually in the form of showers through the course of today. But as we move into the second half of tomorrow, that's when the heaviest rains are now going to start to show up here. And you can see by the time we reach the latter half of tomorrow, we've got between 40 and 48 millimetres of rain over the southern uplands here. Some parts of the Cairngorms may start to pick up higher rain totals later in the day. And then it's as we move out of Wednesday and into Thursday, that is when the greatest rains will be across more northern areas of the UK here. We've got some parts of the Grampians and the Cairngorms that could see in excess of 60 millimetres of rain, for example, here. But it's going to be highly localised because the winds are coming in from an east to northeasterly direction. Some areas are going to pick up a couple of inches of rain. Other areas may struggle to get 2 millimetres of rain based on rain shadow and where's exposed to that east to northeasterly flow compared to other areas. Let's have a quick look at the ECMWF. This is a video really specifically just looking at the next few days here. In particular, we'll look at the overview chart and see what the model is indicating. So let's go back to the UK view. Actually, we'll have a better look and see how this rain evolves. So playing through the next few hours, we've got some showers dotted around through the course of today. There's that swathe of moisture then moving out of Europe into the southeast of the UK. And then it's as that area of low pressure then crosses out into the North Sea, we've got some fairly heavy persistent rain coming in from a northeasterly direction, generally from the Pennines eastwards and north of the Wash. That's where you're going to see in excess of 2 inches of rain, for example. Then it's as we move out of the day on Wednesday into the day on Thursday, we've got those heavy wind-driven rains moving into southern, central and northern UK. as can be seen by the latest ECMWF run here. So that then area of low pressure then kind of fizzles out as we move towards the upcoming weekend here, the bank holiday weekend at that. We're left in this kind of slight no man's land, neither real high pressure nor low pressure to speak about. And then there's that frontal system that's edging in off the Atlantic by the time we reach the second half of the weekend. Looking at rainfall totals seen by the ECMWF, and you can see what they are showing. So just bear with me a second. And you can see here, these are rain totals as of between now and 3 a.m. on Sunday. So we've got some fairly heavy widespread rains, anywhere from 40, 50, even locally 60 millimetres of rain, especially so across the North Midlands into the Manchester, Leeds area, up into northern England, southern Scotland here, and then we've got a swathe here over the Murray coast area of Scotland in particular, because of the exposure of that Murray coast to that east-northeasterly flow. We could see some fairly significant totals in this region here, really between Elgin and Inverness by the time we reach the latter half of Thursday. So certainly a big change coming in terms of the weather pattern, especially so for northern UK, where it's been a very dry month so far. This is going to be probably quite welcome news for many gardeners, especially in the north. But rain totals are certainly mounting up even across southern UK. We've seen already quite a lot of rainfall through the first week or so of the month. Then things eased off, but it could turn out to be a relatively wet May, especially for southern UK, when you add this system into the mix of what we've already seen so far. So we'll wait and see what happens anyway. Like, share, and subscribe. See you tomorrow with more. Bye for now.